Okay, so here we have the final product. The room is finished. It's all put together. It's rather tight inside, but it keeps the sound in pretty well, as you'll see after this. So you can see we left room across the top to put in guitar cases, some drum heads, so forth. Just nice storage up there without losing too much of the head space inside. Go over to the door. And as you can see, we trimmed it out with speaker fabric in between the two walls. This is completely hollow in between, nothing but air space. Come inside the room. There's where we had to make room for the garage door to go in over top of the ceiling. So in the front of the room, the ceiling's higher. As you can see, there's various acoustic treatments here. I'll take a moment here to describe those to you. These ones in the wood frames, we took some 1x4s, ripped them down in half to in effect make 1x2s, which we then cut into the frames. Inside, and not really going to be able to show it, but inside is rock wool. We could have used Owens Corning 703, but for this application we wanted to help control the bass waves, and rock wool is actually cheaper and does a little better job with some of the lower frequencies than Owens Corning 703 insulation. So those are just rock wool inside of frames with speaker fabric, making it look somewhat pretty. These tall things in the corners are some homemade bass traps. And it's kind of a creation of mine in that what I did was I took some concrete forms that you would buy at a Home Depot or a Lowe's or wherever. I used 10-inch forms. Could have gone bigger, and also could have not cut them in half. I'll describe that cutting in half in a moment. But I knew that space was at a premium in this room, so my way of dealing with that was by making the bass traps as small as possible. Normally what you would do is just leave the form the way it is, take a jigsaw, cut a bunch of oddly sized and shaped holes in it, then wrap it in speaker fabric and fill it up with, say, pillows. They actually work pretty well for this application. For these, what I did was I cut the forms in half lengthways. So where you're seeing 8 feet right here of bass trap, that's actually one 4-foot tube that was cut in half. Then I cut holes in it, wrapped it with speaker fabric, and inside it's filled up with the fluff from pillows. Given the relative lack of space inside of there, would have been very difficult to get these things to stay against the walls with complete pillows in, so I just cut a bunch of pillows open, filled it up, put them against the wall. You can probably see I used velcro along the sides. Actually cut some 1x1s into 4-foot lengths and screwed the concrete forms onto the 1x1s, then put the velcro onto the sides of the 1x1s onto the walls, and that helps it stay in place. I found though that wasn't quite enough, so I also put some hooks at the top, and I've just got some shoestrings that I'm using to to hold the top of these bass traps in place. So that is the soundproof room. Like I said, it's a little tight, but it's really functional for what I needed, and it keeps the sound in really well. Okay, and finally, just to give a rough idea of the sound control that we've got going here, I'm going to have a neighbor of mine show on his iPhone sound application the decibels inside the room while playing, outside of the room with one door and then both doors closed, and then outside of the garage altogether with the garage door down. What I believe you'll see is there's a significant reduction in sound level, and again, that was what we were going for. So, keep in mind this is with an iPhone. It only goes up to 100 decibels, and it's an estimate, but at least it will give an idea of the effectiveness of this work. Thanks.